Bet you weren't expecting that. Oh, you probably were expecting it actually. Well, I said 7 days later that I would let you know how I'm getting on with the teeth situation. So how am I getting on? Whoa, how am I getting on? Well, as you can see, looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, looks almost like new ones. Anyway, these teeth are just false teeth. They're working alright and there's no problem with them. They're doing their job as they should be doing. Apparently, now here's some interesting facts. You know, you probably watched loads of 10 facts on YouTube. They're quite good, those ones. 10 facts for this, 10 facts for that, and etc, etc. But here's one fact. Apparently, as soon as you have teeth removed, your bones start to shrink in your gum, under your gum. So there's an interesting fact for you to know. So what they're doing is they have to wait for the bone to recede. Now, the first 8 weeks, apparently, 8 to 10 weeks, gradual shrinking. I mean, at some point it has to stop altogether, but initially the first 8 to 10 weeks it really shrinks like there's no tomorrow. So you can look forward to that. Well, you can't, I can, one way or the other. So I had the examination, everything seems to be ticking over. Slight bit of inflammation. I have to wash with special mouthwash, cortisol it's called. You said just increase the amount of use it for the next little while, but everything seems to be ticking over, so that's great. But it's going to take quite a long process. I never realized that quite a long process it is. So first of all, the false teeth I have now don't really fit properly. I mean, they fit okay, but within about 8 to 10 weeks, obviously, because the bone would have shrunk so much, they will become even worse fitting. In the meantime, he says when it's about 8 weeks from now, I then have another casting or whatever they call it. He'll then set up another set of false teeth basically, which will then replace these and should fit better and should be okay, fitting okay after that. Right, so that's how far I've got, and once we're at that stage, then we can start looking at the next stage, which is how everything's going to work, or how we're going to put the implants in, etc, etc. So something we can look forward to then. So we're looking probably middle of March before I even get the first more permanent, as it were, set of false teeth, which are going to then last me for the next probably 6 months or so while they sort out how they're going to do the implants. So that's something, I have to just wait, I guess. So when he said a year, he wasn't kidding. I mean, yeah. Although on the plus side, he did say that he thought I did very well considering how many, the medical treatment that I received, what happened to the teeth. So on the plus side, being positive, it's not as bad as I thought. Now I just wanted to say while I'm here, I've been looking on YouTube, as we all do, and I've been listening to a few guys who were talking about making a YouTube channel, or making YouTube channels, more professional YouTubers, I suppose is what you would call them. And I found it quite interesting. It's kind of maybe something I might think of doing rather than just what I'm doing now, but a proper YouTube channel. I don't know how how that's going to work, but how I'm going to give that a try. So some good information, some beneficial stuff that I'm going to have to look at. I will be doing some other videos besides the dental implants, just to let you know. So a friend of mine was saying to me, why don't I do religious ones, to do with religion? And I never really thought about it. I mean, I did think about it briefly, but never really entertained it much. But now what he said made me think, well, maybe I should do that. So I was thinking of doing a 14 episode series, if you like, on studying the Bible. you know, how to study the Bible, how the Bible entails, etc., etc. General stuff like that. So I might well do that, as you know, a lot of people get religious. The other thing the guy mentioned, he said, you know, what kind of person do you want to be known as? If you do YouTube stuff, what do you want to be known as? You know, prankster, funny guy, a serious guy, a guy who likes to teach people things, etc., etc. And I thought, you know, the reality is I'm a talker. That's what I am. So what would I be known as? As a talker, you know, miscellaneous. So if I do YouTube as a more serious thing, and I become known on YouTube, I'll probably just be known as a talker. In other words, I'll talk about all sorts of subjects. It won't be one particular subject, miscellaneous subjects, you know. Sometimes it'll be religion, sometimes it'll be evolution, sometimes it'll be history, sometimes it'll be geography, sometimes it'll be whatever comes my way. So I kind of thought that, you know, if I'm going to be known as anything, probably being a talker is one of them. At the minute I'm doing a series, as it were, on the dental implants, because obviously it's a big impact. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. It was one of the things was mentioned, my friend mentioned to me. He says, well, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I doing this on YouTube? Well, to be honest with you, the reason I started this off was more for myself, not for anyone else. When I say experience, you know, having teeth removed and having to have false teeth, a pretty traumatic experience. Really, you know, how do I deal with it? And I found, in a way, dealing with it through YouTube or having these little videos is kind of a therapeutic way of dealing with the situation I'm undergoing. But at the same time, it means that I can have a record of the experiences I've been through, things that I'm going through, and also the benefit to others. So in other words, somebody else who is saying, oh, I've got terrible problems with my teeth, I might have to have implants, I wonder what it's like to have implants. Well, then they can watch these videos and say, oh, so that's what he looks like when he first has his teeth out, this is the second stage, it's the third stage, etc., etc. And it'll help to fortify the person, to give them some either idea to go with implants or maybe just go with false teeth. Because to be honest with you, I really didn't expect the false teeth to fit so well. I really didn't. And it actually has worked quite well. So, you know, maybe I won't even have implants in the end. Maybe I'll just stay with false teeth because they seem to work so well. So, you know, there's an aspect which I never thought about. So that's the reason that I'm doing these videos. It's just for myself, first of all, therapeutic treatment for myself. The other thing too is, whilst I started doing this, I started looking at other YouTube videos, etc., etc., and I started thinking, you know, maybe it's something I could do. I enjoy talking, and I look at the people who watch these not as my audience, as some of them call them my audience, but rather just my friends. You know, my friends. And you talk to your friends, don't you? And that's the idea I'm going to have, you know, behind anything I do, will be that I'm here to talk to my friends. I tell my friends how I am today, things that's been going on in my life, etc. And maybe my friends will then, although they can't physically talk back to me, they'll think about what I'm saying. So, you know, friends, that's how I look at it. So a talker is how I'll be known, and friends is the way I want to be, rather than just through my audience, etc., etc. It seems that a lot of these guys take YouTube very seriously, you know. I'm not saying that they don't have good fun and do a good job of it, what they're doing, but they do take it quite serious. And I kind of see where they're coming from, and I'd like to have the same kind of attitude towards it, you know, a serious side of the aspect, but at the same time I want to have fun. We all have fun, yeah? So that's the idea behind it all. Anyway, so as far as the appointment went for today, it was very straightforward. He had a look, slight information, medication that increased my mouthwash, cortisol, It'll be about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before I see him next, and then another 4 or 5 weeks after that, then I'll have another casting, and then another 2 weeks after that, and finally a proper or more permanent set of dentures. And at that point we'll then discuss how we're going to go forward, whether it's going to be implants or not implants, or however it's going to work. So that's what I can look forward to. So listen, hi everybody, thanks very much for listening to me. When I say everybody, at the minute I know only one person who's actually looked at these videos. He's a friend of mine, so hey friend, how's it going? But you know, who knows in the future if anyone else watches it. So hi to you all, and those who will eventually in the future hopefully watch this. So yeah, thanks for listening. Sure, I'll talk to you sometime in the future. I may do the talking, you have to just do the listening, but who knows how it's going to work. So we'll see how it goes. Right, ciao.